everyone. So with the new quests dropping yesterday, I thought I'd make a video sort of catching you up on the story so far. I coincidentally completed the story up to the new quests just yesterday, and I was only behind by like 4 quests, so it's really convenient. So the story is pretty fresh in my mind. Basically, we had to save Anne from Pandora. Once we went through a lot of stuff and ultimately rescued her, we reunited her with her soul horse, Concord. Although Concord is not the Concord that Anne knew because that one was lost. Concord's soul, however, has been reborn into a foal. Desperate to get her old Concord back, Anne takes a magical 5-leaf clover which will enable her to make Concord grow into an adult, with the hope of increasing her bond with her again. Anne and Alex then disappeared. We went to ask the witch Pie for help. I'm assuming it's Pie, for help to locate Anne and Alex, but discovered she had been turned into a horse. We helped Pie to get back to normal and then followed a trail of Alex and Anne clues that led us to Scarecrow Hill, where there was an open portal. We closed the portal and lo and behold, Alex and Anne came out of it. We had to escape a lot of ghost bat creatures that attacked everywhere. And then we ended up here in Firgrove, where apparently it's been months since the last story quest update, which is funny because when I ended that part, she's like, okay, we'll go off tomorrow. And it's been months. But they did kind of a little quip on that. She's like, oh, I felt like it's been months. I didn't get that part though, because I didn't realize that that was the new quest until I actually looked in my logbook and I'm like, oh, it says new. So anyway, it's really disappointing to me that that was where they had left off, because I'm really intrigued by the whole Catherine plot, you know, where like your Catherine's the last girl that was like you, Catherine, something happened to her and she's like the reborn, I don't know. Anyway, and I really want to see Concord all grown up, and I thought I would get there, but apparently not. Now we are at the new quest release. So we talked about the next steps to take to find out what kind of darkness had taken over Hollow Woods. We ultimately went to talk to Avalon and Fripp at the Stone Circle. This conversation is basically Avalon being angry at Anne for being so irresponsible as to take the clover, as well as being upset that the Soul Riders resorted to conspiring with Pie, being that she's a witch. Avalon also refuses to use the 5-leaf clover to make Concord grow up, saying it's a bad magic and one he will not use. Fripp is in agreement with that decision. So, in typical teenage defiance, us Soul Riders agree to go back to Pie and let her help us instead. Obviously, Avalon is not amused. Once we reach Pie, she is not happy to see us. She is actually terrified, as the last time we came around, she was turned into a horse and those bad bat creatures were released. We zap the bats away and hope that'll make Pie cooperate. Anne tells her what she wants her to do, but the witch refuses. She also seems to have information on the Dark Forest that she is not willing to share out of fear. After much coaxing, we find out the force is the Vala, an ancient coven of women that supposedly no longer exists. She gives us a lead as to who might be able to help us through sending us to Mrs. Holdsworth. Once we arrive at Mrs. Holdsworth's place, she is not there. Anne and your character have a slight bonding moment, and then Cora shows up. Which, honestly, I don't even know who Cora is. I don't remember her, but anyway. Apparently, Cora was sent by the spy master to check on Mrs. Holdsworth because after healing Fripp, she had said that she needed to do more research. We all conclude that she must be in Fort Maria, a forbidden library that only the most magical people know about. There's apparently some spell on the library? I don't know. We all meet at Fort Maria only to find out that there are more shadow creatures surrounding it. We ride through, dodging them, and then we find that the entrance is sealed shut with giant root things. We tried to zap them with our magic and then cut them with a chainsaw, but they grew back both times. So after talking about it, we decided that another entrance might be a good idea, but we need to talk to people in the area to learn if there even is a secret entrance. We split up, with you and Linda going to talk to the Buttergoods. The first one we speak to is Robert. He tells us that his brother Junior would be a good person to talk to. We head up to the manor to find Junior. He tells us his father would be the one to ask about Fort Maria, as he has been around for so long. The father, who is an ultra recluse, doesn't come out, but says that his other son, Scott, is the one that believes in things like UFOs and the like, with, quote, quite the imagination. So we go off to speak to Scott. We find Scott tracking some footprints, which he says belongs to a creature he's calling the Fort Maria Fiend. He calls it that because when he saw it late one night, he followed it to the fort. Apparently, it was stealing papers, so he says we should use that as bait. After leaving Scott, we set up 5 traps around the fort and wait for nightfall. Once night hits, we catch a creature who says they are a capron, I don't know how to say that, named Beatrix. Our crew accidentally insults her by saying that she is a monster and that she's smaller than we thought. Because of this, Beatrix does not want to give us the information we are seeking on how to get into Fort Maria until we become friends with her. This begins a reputation grind to continue the story. And from what I've read on Instagram and Twitter, it'll be about 4 days if you do these every day to continue the storyline. And that is basically the story in a nutshell this far. Hopefully, someone will find this useful. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I'd absolutely love to have you along. Until next time, bye guys!